Welcome to May's Lug Life. I'm May, and this is going to be part 2 of a part 3 sort of series of videos. It was going to be 2, and then once I sort of thought about what I wanted to cover, I realized it was probably going to take longer than 2 videos. So here we are. This is part 2. Now, if you're wondering why we're here in this Lug Life page, I'm just giving you something to look at while I yammer for the next little while, because I don't know what else to show you. I was going to like unpack a bag for you, but then I knew that if I started doing that, I would get distracted and I wouldn't be able to talk, and I would probably stop anyways. So you get to sort of look at the lug page. I might even go over to the wallpaper page for you to look at some pretty pictures of the prints that Lug has. So anyways, so I'm just going to talk a little bit today about sort of why I thought, why I keep coming on here and talking about this, and why I keep feeling like it's something that maybe we want to discuss, and why this is something that seems to, like, every time I put out a video about the shipping issues or anything like that, there seems to be a lot of responses, and it seems to sort of trigger quite a conversation, and it definitely triggers a lot of conversation on Facebook. So that made me kind of figure that obviously, as Lugnuts, we have things we want to say, and we want to, things we want to voice. And I kind of realized that it seemed like there were a lot more voices when we talk about Lug than I ever hear about any other issue with any other company that I've ever had to deal with. So it made me kind of wonder why it was that we seem to all be looking at the way things have been going with Lug, and why we get so emotional, and why we have so much interest in what's been happening, and why it matters so much to us. And so then when I thought of that, I was trying to figure out exactly what Lug means to us as Lugnuts, or as consumers of Lug, and therefore why it means so much to us or why it matters so much to us when Lug starts doing the weird things that they've been doing, and why it angers us so much, and why we feel so much emotion on that end as well. So as I was analyzing this, I kind of had to figure out what it meant to us. Like, what does Lug mean to us? Why do we care at all? Why this bag company has become such a huge part of our lives, and why it takes up so much time in our hearts and our souls and our brains and all of our energy, and certainly a lot of our money. Why Lug? Why not any other company? There are so many bag companies that make really beautiful and cool, high quality bags around the same price range. They're equally as fun and beautiful. And obviously the key here is the organization. We know that Lug is all about organization, and all the pockets and zippers and the little doodads that they have, all the features make Lug Lug. And yes, they're beautiful on top of that, but ultimately what sets them apart is the organization. And why is it then that the organization means so much to us? Like, again, there are prettier bags in some ways out there. There are cheaper bags, there are more expensive bags, there are more chic bags. But why are we all stuck with Lug? And why is it for us, why is it so hard to leave Lug? Even though Lug has let us down time and time again over the past many months, why are we still here? Why are we still talking about it? Why am I still talking about it? That's a question I ask all the time. I'm like, I have a YouTube channel, and in the beginning, it was because I really wanted to talk about Lug, and I wanted to talk about it with somebody else who cared as much as I did, because no one in my life otherwise does. So I'm just basically talking to myself and the Lugs. So I thought I'd start this YouTube channel to see if there's anybody else that cared as well. But then I'm like, why am I doing this? Because am I promoting a company that's starting to really suck and really not giving us what we want out of what we originally thought we were getting from them? And why am I promoting that? Like, why am I here? I mean, I'm not actively promoting it, but I'm still, every time I talk about it, every time I put a video out, every time I react to something they do, I am putting them out there. I am putting their name and their products out in the open for people to see. And the more often that happens, I'm kind of promoting it. So why am I doing that? Like, why am I still here talking about it? Why am I here today talking about it? Why am I making all these silly videos about the problems that ail Lug? And then I was kind of trying to figure out why I'm so attached to Lug. And I guess I was looking at, obviously, the organization, but what does that mean to me? Like, why just being so organized in my bag means so much to me? Why does that make me so happy and so fulfilled? And it did sort of make me force myself to understand the biology of it, or the psychology of it, whatever you want to call it, the instinct that we have to be organized. And it really made me look at why it meant so much to me and why it means so much to us as a community, as a group, as a gender. Because let's be honest, most of the people who are attracted to lug are women, and usually of a certain age. And why is it we feel that when we have a lug, our lives are better, that we're happier, that we're that that we're overall everything is just more joyous? Why is that? Because there could be a million things that could make our lives better and make us feel happier, make us feel more fulfilled. But what does lug do for us? And so I was really trying to understand it from a true sort of I guess like animal base level. And it did occur to me, and I've known this for a while, I guess all of us know this to some extent, that there's something about being female, especially as we get a little bit older in life, where there's a societal expectation of us to be good homekeepers and family rearers, and keeping all of that in order and keeping it all looking beautiful and streamlined and organized and perfect. For some reason, especially in the Western culture, it has become a priority. So no matter what women end up doing, we can have full-time careers, working full-time jobs, 80-hour weeks, but yet we still have to come back and make sure our houses are pristine. And if it's not pristine and perfect and our kids aren't perfectly washed and coiffed and dressed, it's our fault. It's not the men's fault, it's women's fault. And for some reason, for us to have that societal pressure, we start to kind of put that into other parts of our lives, and that includes our bags. And so to have that ability to have this beautifully organized bag, it really makes us feel like maybe there's some part of our lives that we can actually control. So, I mean, in a world where we can't control anything and there's no predicting of what other people will do around us, to have that small little space that we can say, I control this and I know where everything is and I can find every little thing that I usually lose, and how much joy that brings us. And on top of that, it's in this beautiful, pretty, printed, colored package. It really starts to sink in, and it sort of pushes deep into our psyche and into our biology. And I think it satisfies us at such a deep, visceral level. And so now we've sort of become attached to our lugs, because that feeling, that satisfaction, that joy, that true sort of, our lives are okay feeling that we get every time we go into our lug bags, we kind of get addicted to it. We kind of become attached to that, and to have that, being able to have as much of that as we can by buying all these different things, it gives us the illusion, maybe, certainly just for me, if I have all these lug things, it makes me feel like parts of my life are way more organized than maybe they really are. And in some part of my mind, I feel like there are some places that I can go, okay, well, this is organized and I know where this is, and this is beautiful and this matches and this is all orderly, when maybe in reality it's not. And I think having that ability to do so, and it's all provided by this one company and by this one line of bags, and then on top of that, that company promotes joy and laughing and love and positivity and energy and fulfilling your dreams and being positive and community and caring. When that's all packaged and marketed to you in that way, and you actually start feeling that when you look at your bags, and then even more so when you go on to Facebook or here on our YouTube channel. If we go out into the wild and we run into other Lugnuts and we have these 15-minute conversations at a checkout counter about the lug bags and why we love them so much, it really does become this amazing feeling that we get every time we do something around our bags, around our lugs. And I guess when we've been having these amazing feelings, these positive feelings around this one company, and they've been feeding us all of this energy for all this time, it's really hard not to become attached and not to have some kind of emotional and vested interest in what happens with the company and with all the products and with all the people who are fans of it. And I think when you look at that and how happy that makes us and how fulfilled, it fills in parts of our lives. I mean, geez, even during these past couple of years, LugLife became a lifeline for so many people because they were so cut off from the world and from their families and from their friends, and to have an outlet where they were really able to connect with other people, to have the Lug hosts constantly call their names out, and everyone talking about their personal lives and their friends and their, their happies and their highs and their lows. it really became a true social outlet and a social network for so many people that maybe wouldn't have had that in the first place. And so this company just kind of got deeper and deeper into our souls and deeper into every aspect of our lives. And so now when Lug is starting to like not treat us the same way we thought that they used to, or that they should be treating us. In the beginning, they loved us and they fed us everything and they made us feel good, and everything we asked for, they gave it to us, and they would make us feel special by giving us, freebies and beautiful orders and boxes. And then now they're chipping away that one by one until there's practically nothing. And then on top of that, it's even worse. They're actually starting to lie to us. They're promising this and they're not giving it to us, and they're saying that this is going to happen and that doesn't happen, and they assume that we somehow are going to buy into this, and then more and more times we buy into it, the more often we get disappointed. And I think because we set Lug on such a high pedestal, when it came time to this sort of when stuff hit the fan, it was really hard to separate the company that's just there to make profit from who we are as people and who we had become as a community. And I think that's probably why we had this huge emotional reaction to what was going on, because I have seen people get angry at companies that don't live up to their end of the bargain for whatever reason, and for whomever that may be, and it never seems to get this emotional. People just get really angry and they tell them off and they say, okay, I'll never give you my money again, and that's that. But there's never this like where people genuinely feel saddened and heartbroken. Like, you see the words heartbroken, and I'm mourning it and I'm grieving it. And I feel disappointment, and those are the kinds of words you save for close relationships, for friends and for family. And the fact that we have put Lug in that category, it really speaks to how good Lug has been at really tapping into what they obviously somehow discovered, whether accidentally or not, how much they have an influence on us. And so up until very recently, they took advantage of that and made this beautiful company that we were totally fine with. Like, we didn't mind being used. If they were using our ideas, we were happy to give them money when they gave us the bags that we were looking for, the prints that we were looking for. But I think now we're starting to go, wait a minute. You promised all these things, you told us all these things, you told me you loved me, you promised me the moon, you said we would go on vacation, and now you're starting to treat me like crap, and now you're starting to renege on promises, and now you're starting to pretend like I don't exist. You've been ignoring my calls, you've been ignoring my emails, you've been ignoring my texts, and then I find you, after all this time I've been trying to call you, but I find you in a hotel room with somebody else. And I think that's kind of where we're at. And it's, when you get that kind of treatment from someone that you used to trust and used to love, and that used to bring you nothing but happiness and joy, I think it's a big fall from that high that we used to feel. And now, as time goes on, they're chipping away, Lug is chipping away at that trust and that security that we all sort of felt living in this, very, very warm and fuzzy and caring community that included the company. And now that the company is starting to treat us differently and trying and pretending like really nothing's wrong, it's really hurting, and it's really upsetting. And I think that's an interesting thing that Lug has done. And I don't know if we're aware of it, and I don't know if we're conscious of it, but Lug has really taken, a big bite out of our hearts and souls and our hearts and minds and our energy and on a huge chunk of our pocketbooks. And I think kind of use it in a way that we didn't think they would. And so I think now that we're seeing that more clearly, I think we're all extra disappointed. And I think that's why we're so upset. And that's why I keep coming out and talking about it. And I keep hearing other people talking about it, because it's never just, I didn't get my order. It's, I didn't get my order. I'm so sad. I was so disappointed. I'm so angry. I'm so heartbroken. I'm so frustrated. And and it gets deeper. There's always, especially for Lugnuts who have been Lugnuts for a long time, this sense of loss. And I always hear people saying things like, I remember when, and back in the good old days when, and, I when I used to get these beautiful boxes, and when they used to answer my emails in a day, and I used to call customer service, and it felt like I was talking to a friend. And those are all gone. All those things that made Lug the amazing company that we fell in love with, they're gone. And now we're sort of left with this weird relationship that used to be awesome, and now we're like, well, where do we go now? What do we do from here? We still love their products, and we still love the things that they produce, and we love the feeling that we get when we look in our very organized little Lug lives. But that same level of romance and that joy and that thrill to be part of this community and part of this company have, in some cases, all but disappeared. And I find that really sad, and I find that a huge, huge loss, because Lug worked really, really hard to get to where they are and to be as big as they are and to have this huge fan base. And it took very little time. Like, it's taken how many years for them to get to this point and have this fan base? And it took, what, 8 months, 9 months to chisel everything down to only brand new customers and only people who are willing to give them more time and hope for the best. Or people who are just addicted to the products and are somehow able to be completely blind as to all the things that are going on, despite having heard this going on for months and months and months. So anyways, I just thought that was an interesting thing to sort of think about for me, because I wanted to know why it was I was still hanging on. Why am I still on Mondays checking in on the Lug Live shows to see what the sales are? Why am I still looking at my emails that they send me? Why am I still coming to the website? Why am I still making videos? Why am I still talking about this? Why do I even care when they keep bringing out new stuff? I mean, I do care. That's the weird thing. Like, why do I care? But yet at the same time, I'm just as angry when I hear what they're doing to other Lugnuts. When I go onto Facebook in the morning, the first thing I do is, the bunch of things I do first, but the first thing I do when I go onto Facebook to look and see what's going on, and I'm reading all these people saying how disappointed they were and how upset they were and how badly they've been treated, how long they've waited to get some kind of response from Lug, my heart breaks. Not because of what's going on, but my heart breaks because I'm seeing all these people who have been, like, they've been great people. Like, I've listened to their conversations. I hear about their lives. People talk amongst themselves, and sometimes I'm on the outside. Sometimes I come in, I join. But, like, these are people who are people, and they're angry, and they're not being treated well, and they're not happy about it. And it breaks my heart to see all of us not getting treated the way we hoped that we would, or the way we used to, and certainly the way we deserve to be. And then to have Lug do nothing about it, and to continuously use the same excuses over and over. There's about 3 of them. Sorry, we're behind. We're working our hardest to get everything done. Our customer service is really, really busy. We got more orders than we expected, so we're falling behind, but we're doing everything we catch up. And it's just, the same stuff over and over again, and it just becomes annoying that they've done absolutely nothing in all this time to really, really, really fix the problems, or to even try to reach out to the people who they clearly upset and they've clearly hurt. There are hurt people out there, and I think Lug doesn't fully understand exactly how bad it is, because up until now, we've pretty much almost been, we've been drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, every single thing they sell us, everything they want to give us, we'll buy it. Every single little thing they do, like, oh, here's a new print, here's a new color, we're like, we just freak out. So every single time that they do something at all, we tell them how amazing they are. And then even when they come on and they do videos, we're always talking about, telling Amy how amazing she is and how beautiful her family is, and like, all they hear is positive, and all of a sudden they're starting to hear negative, and I think they don't quite know what to do about it. And I think we don't know what to do about it either. So it is interesting to sort of watch this relationship change over the past few months, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how much more it changes over in the next few months. But I was just kind of wanting to understand why I'm still here and why I'm still hanging on. And I'm wondering also why there's a whole bunch of us still hanging on. Now, I know there's a bunch of us who have completely left and said, adios, nice to see ya, thanks for the memories. But there are still enough of us still, I think, hoping for more. And I do want to know when or what it is that's going to be the final straw for me. I'm pretty patient in some ways, and I guess because I'm not as vested in this company as far as emotionally and personally, because I don't go to the Lug Live shows. It doesn't have the same social pull for me. I do love an organized bag, and I do know that when I carry my stuff, it feels like my life is way more organized and settled and calm than the outside of my bag. And I'm fully aware that that's what I get from Lug. But it is interesting to sort of ask ourselves, why are we still here? Why do we still care? And then how much is it going to take before we don't anymore? What's it going to take before we decide we've had enough, we're packing our bags, and we're going to go live at mom's house for the next little while until we file for divorce? I think that's what I'd like to know for me. And I'm wondering what it is for you as well. And I do want to sort of, talk a little bit about that in the future. Like, what makes us a lug nut? Why are we lug nuts? Why are we here in the first place? What made us fall in love with this company? Why are we, so invested in this company? Even though, let's face it, the only reason why they exist is to make money. And yet we seem to accept that from every other company, and we're okay with that. But when Lug is trying to just make money, it upsets us more. It certainly does for me anyway. So anyways, just kind of thought I'd put that out there and see what you guys thought. So there you go. That's this video today. The next video I'm going to do, I kind of want to talk about why I think Lug is doing what they're doing. Like, why are we still here? Why are we in this this phase of everything sucks, that they can't seem to fix anything? There are a laundry list of problems, and it just seems to grow. It doesn't get shorter. It's not like they keep, solving one problem and there's another one that pops up. It's the same problems over and over, and it just keeps accumulating, and it seems like there's more and more and more problems that come up over time. And why is it that they still have not been able to fix any of it? And is it because they can't? Is it because there's, it is a cascade effect where, one thing goes, the next thing goes, the next thing goes, and all of a sudden you have this horrible, horrible situation? Or, sorry, had to take a sip. Or is it that they don't want to? And if they don't want to, why? So I kind of want to ask a lot of whys, and I kind of want to ask a lot more questions about Lug specifically, about what they're doing or what they're not doing in the next video. So I think, so today it was sort of more introspective. Why me? Why do I care? Why do I want? Why do I still want more Lugs? Why do I love Lugs still? Kind of, why do I care in any way, shape, or form? Why am I still putting out videos? And then the next one is going to be, why is Lug still screwing up? Why have they still not gotten their act together? And I do want to delve into some of the reasons on that in the next video. So there we go. Let's keep this conversation going. I've been really, really, thrilled to see that people are engaging in conversation. Let's keep doing this. I think it's important, because maybe it'll be cathartic for all of us at the very, very least. And best case scenario, maybe Lug will hear us. I don't know. I don't know if they watch us at all, but maybe they do. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.